Aaron Rodgers' thumb appears to be broken going into the Eagles-Packers matchup on Sunday Night Football. Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni getting a lot of play-calling criticism, and the Giants-Eagles game might get flexed to Sunday Night Football. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Wednesday. I'll just get it out of the way. I'm obviously not in my home studio as I am home. I went home for the holidays, so here for Thanksgiving. So obviously this is going to be the setup for the next couple of days. Bear with it. I know, not as great as the home setup, but it will have to do. A lot of things going on here on a Wednesday. You'd think it'd be a quiet Wednesday with Thanksgiving being tomorrow, and yet there's a lot of Eagles and NFL news to go ahead and jump into. Let's start with the big news of the day, which the national media and Twitter is kind of glossing over, and that is essentially the confirmation yesterday that Aaron Rodgers is dealing with a broken thumb on his throwing hand. And this is big news, and yet a lot of people aren't covering it because the Packers are seemingly no longer a big-time story because they're sitting at 4-7. We have the story, though, because it matters for Philadelphia. Here's the thing from yardbarker.com. Yardbarker.com. Quote, Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers basically confirms that his thumb is broken. This from Andrew Kulha, I think they say his last name. Quote, Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers obviously hasn't been right this season. Some have attributed it to his age, while others may think the Packers are just having an off year in general. They are 4-7 after all, and have lost 6 of their last 7 games. There's a small issue about the thumb injury Rodgers has been nursing for most of the season, though. Perhaps Rodgers' inaccuracies and balls thrown in the dirt because his thumb is worse than what he's been leading on. Speaking to his good buddy Pat McAfee, Rodgers basically confirmed without confirming that his thumb is broken. And here's the tweet. It says Aaron Rodgers a few minutes ago on Pat McAfee's show, he's broken our fingers before in reference to his thumb injury. Since he confirms Big Packer 4x X initial report from Friday that the thumb is in fact broken. With that said, it's not like the four-time MVP is using his thumb, broken or not, as an excuse. He's played poorly this season. 7 receptions and a QBR that's near the bottom of the league, 41.8, 26th worst in the NFL. Sure, that could be why he hasn't been the Aaron Rodgers we've seen over the past 2 MVP seasons. Future Hall of Famer isn't looking to hand wave, pun intended, his bad play away and blame it on an injury. The Pat McAfee show, he said, quote, my thumb is what it is. It's been an issue since the Giants, but it's not an issue that I'm going to rely on for an excuse or need, end quote. And so the questions here are going to abound, saying, how long ago did it become an actual issue? Was it the Giants game? Was it the Cowboys game? You mentioned that in the Pat McAfee interview. The Tennessee game on Thursday night. Is it a full break? Is it a fracture? Where is it at on the thumb? How is it impacting his throwing? We don't know. And is this a viable excuse? Whether they win or lose against Philadelphia on Sunday? No. But maybe, just maybe, it is kind of at least a hint as to why Aaron Rodgers has struggled so much this season. When you go through the past couple of games here, and it is amazing to look at the numbers. These are not Aaron Rodgers type numbers. This is Zach Wilson type numbers. You know, the Jets quarterback in the news today getting benched, but just not a lot of overall production. I mean, 227 yards against Tennessee, 224 against Dallas, 291, 203, 194. He has not thrown, this is crazy, for 300 yards all season long. I mean, broken thumb or not, you back to the Giants game, that was week 5. Even before week 5, he has not thrown for 300 yards and has only thrown 3 touchdowns once this year. It's amazing the decline. And again, whether it's a matter of his thumb actually being an issue, not having Devontae Adams, head coaching, the play calling, whatever you want to blame it to, Aaron Rodgers is definitely dealing with something on that right hand, meaning as to why they've not been that good so far this season. Now, in terms of Philadelphia, when you play Aaron Rodgers, you got to play him as if his thumb is not broken and as if he's not 4-7 because he still can come out and ball against you. Dallas saw that in the fourth quarter of that big win for the Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago. That was a 14-point comeback by Rodgers, yes, led mostly by the rushing attack, which Philadelphia will have to go ahead and defend heavily with Linval Joseph and Dominican Sue. But you cannot take this report and go, oh, Rodgers has a thumb injury, we're going to roll him, because even though I think Philadelphia is going to roll on Sunday, it is not guaranteed because it is Aaron Rodgers. So is it a big story? Is it not? Who knows? But it's worth noting here on the Thomas Mott Show to start off. So if you guys enjoy that sort of update, give this show a thumbs up. Now, if you do think it's a big deal, and you do think that Philadelphia is going to roll the Green Bay Packers, then you should bet on them with the DraftKings link down below in my description box. You're still going. This is all year long. Bet $5 on the Eagles. Get $200 back if they beat the Packers on Sunday. You go to the TFM website via the link down below. Sign up by clicking right there. Deposit $5, place a $5+ money line bet on the Eagles. Get $200 back if they win that game in additional free bets. It's a lot of money to continue to bet on with DraftKings for the next couple of weeks here. Maybe on the World Cup, maybe on the NFL. Whatever you want, do with our friends at DraftKings. The link again is down below right now. Okay, next big story I do want to jump into is this very interesting article from Bleeding Green Nation talking about the play calling. And I've been asked a lot about, especially coming home for the holidays, wearing my Eagles gear, and family members, friends in the neighborhood are asking, Thomas, what do you think of the Eagles the past couple of weeks? And I keep saying, a little weird, play calling to me has been a big time issue. And they go, oh, it's not, is it play calling? Is it the personnel? What is it? And I think Bleeding Green Nation has a good write-up on why they think play calling is an issue as well. And I think it backs up kind of my ideas on this whole situation. So let's just start with the quote, okay? Quote, I think we can all agree there was a lot of frustration and several question marks to emerge from the Eagles' ugly comeback win against the Colts on Sunday. Jonathan Gannon usually gets the blame, but after making necessary adjustments immediately following the Colts' first series, the defensive coordinator and his unit were praised for contributing to the Eagles' win. You want to talk about how Jonathan Taylor only had 49 yards on 7 carries in the first drive and then basically was shut down the remainder of the game. In capping the Week 11 performance on the NFC East mixtape, Brandon Lee Gouton, you know him, nice guy, explaining how alarming it was to watch. And this is really good stuff here. Quote, I think this is by far and away the worst coaching performance we've seen from Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen. There were weird personnel decisions, weird play calls like their final drive of the second quarter where they go 3 and out on 3 straight run plays where the Colts have a good run defense and A.J. Brown wasn't even on the field. Like, what are the teams doing? Or what are we doing? The Eagles are a good team and they know what works for them. So it's extremely frustrating to see them stray from what he's got them on. Sorry, what he's got them to this point in the season. It's the Colts, Sirianni, and the Steichen failed to trust Jalen Hurts, and for whatever strange reason, they did not use Miles Sanders as much as they should have. I will be concerned if we continue to see this poor coaching move forward, but I think most of the year we have not seen anything like that. I just thought it was very out of character, and they have this whole podcast explaining more about why they believe this. And I kind of touched on this on a show after the win against the Indianapolis Colts. It's just odd to see some of the personnel decisions to pair with play calling stuff, not just A.J. Brown not being on the football field for key third downs and them going with heavy run packages when they should be throwing, but the decision to run Boston Scott 3 straight times in that final drive when you have Miles Sanders. I've been raving on this all offseason, or really all season long. Let's focus on Miles Sanders over Scott and Kenny Gainwell. I know they want Gainwell to eventually be the guy. He's not the guy. It's very, very clear. Quit giving Scott and Gainwell touches whenever Miles Sanders is clearly the running back who should be getting these sort of things. Now, you don't have to complain too much here because you go through the past couple of weeks and you still recognize that Philadelphia's offense has been very, very good all season long. They're still a top 10 scoring offense, top 10 in terms of rushing. They're still very, very good. These past couple weeks, 17 points against the Colts, 21 against the Commanders, and what was a not very good first half against the Houston Texans. You do kind of want to circle these games and go, okay, whatever went wrong here, let's not repeat this, because as we keep mentioning, and I've said this ad nauseum to where you're probably so tired of it, you're saying, Thomas, I don't care about the schedule, but I'm going to mention it again. You still have to play the Packers on Sunday night. Tennessee is a very good team in the AFC. The Giants are nothing to, gloss over. They're Dallas Cowboys tomorrow on Thanksgiving. That matchup is going to be huge. Chicago's offense, if Justin Fields is healthy with the shoulder, is good. Dallas on Christmas Eve. This offense needs to pick things up, and I hope that play calling this week was a big focus in these offensive meetings, and Steichen and Sirianni went, hey, let's figure this thing out, and we'll find out if they did on Sunday night. Be sure to subscribe to the show because we got plenty of stuff. I'm going to do a show tomorrow. I mean, come on, why not? I'll get you guys a show. Again, you're going to be, tired from the turkey and tired of watching the Cowboys. You want to get some Eagle updates, NFL updates. Be sure to subscribe for the show tomorrow. We'll try to have one on Friday as well. I do want to quickly touch on here for our NFL national story of the day. Philadelphia Inquirer mentioning that at least one more Eagles game likely to get flexed to prime time this year, and they focus in on the New York Giants matchup a couple of weeks from now on Week 14, December 11th. Quote, Eagles' Week 14 matchup against the New York Giants on December 11th is currently scheduled for Fox's regional 1 p.m. window, but is an obvious flexible targeting schedule considering the media markets and how tight the NFC East is at the moment. The game is unprotected by Fox, meaning the NFL is free to move it from to NBC at 8:20 p.m. NBC is currently hosting a lopsided matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos on December 11th for Sunday Night Football. While the Chiefs of Patrick Mahomes are ratings gold, the Broncos are having a disappointing season and no one wants to watch a blowout. And so you do have a very good chance that one could go ahead and be flexed. It could be shifted to the Fox's window in the 4 o'clock hour as well, but they already have Tampa Bay versus Jimmy Garoppolo. And so I think this is very easily a Sunday night flex because, again, the Giants, even if they lose tomorrow, are still going to be fighting for a playoff spot in the NFC. And Eagles-Giants is always a big ratings hit, and it'd be fun to see them on Sunday Night Football just a couple of weeks after Philadelphia plays this coming Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. Thumbs up if you want that game flexed. Again, I think it's going to be a big matchup, and I'd like to see the Eagles beat the Giants in prime time to maybe get their 10th, 11th, 12th win. Who knows? All right, final story here quickly before we go ahead and wrap up on a Wednesday. I do like looking at NFL power rankings from NFL.com just to look at where national media people rank Philadelphia and other teams, and we've been following this all season here on the Thomas Mott Show. Philly was 1 last week. They are 1 no more as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have taken back the number 1 spot. Might be the first time they've been there. It's been a Buffalo-Philadelphia kind of back and forth as the number 1 team. The Chiefs are the best team in the AFC due to the fact that the Bills have slipped up the past couple of weeks, except for last week when they looked good at Ford Field in Detroit. Philadelphia falls down to number 2, which I think is fair at this point. I think you can put Philadelphia at 2. Their performances the past 3 weeks have been a little bit uninspiring, despite coming back against the Colts in a great game-winning drive by Jalen Hurts. It definitely is worth noting that Philadelphia looks a little more beatable these past couple weeks than they had previously done in the first 7-8 weeks of the NFL season. Dallas at 3 is an obvious one here due to the fact that they blew out the Vikings 40-3. Now, is that going to be the same score if the Vikings and Cowboys were playing again this week? Probably not. Sometimes you get got in the National Football League. It happens. Happened to Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, but it shows you just how high teams are and how high national media people are on the Dallas Cowboys, who are looking very, very good since Dak Prescott's return. Feels like eons ago we were talking about how Cooper Rush was the favorite to stay at quarterback during his 3-game win streak when Dak Prescott was injured. Well, I wasn't talking about it. I was saying that Dak was going to be the guy. It was idiot Cowboy fans that were, but I digress. That was still a thing that was happening a couple of weeks ago. Bills in at number 4, and then there you go, 49ers in at number 5, showcasing, again, the top 2 threats to Philadelphia in the NFC being Dallas and San Francisco. 49ers' problem is they lost a lot of games early, meaning they have a lot of ground to make up on a 1-loss Philadelphia team. Tennessee at 6. Philadelphia plays them in 2 weeks. The Dolphins sneak in at number 7. Baltimore drops 2 spots to 8 after they could do nothing against the Panthers defense, which was really sad on Sunday. Minnesota to 9, and Cincinnati, real pesky AFC team there, rounding out the top 10. The Bucs are 11. Seattle is 12. New England 13. The Jets at 14, who just benched their quarterback Zach Wilson. And finally, the Giants, after a loss, are going to go ahead and come in at number 15. Excuse me. So, again, the rankings have changed a little bit here. Not a ton worth noting, but you see how it goes week to week. People are very, very high on the Dallas Cowboys, a little bit lower on Philadelphia, and we'll see how that changes coming up, obviously, with the big game tomorrow for the Cowboys. Hopefully they lose. You need to be rooting for the New York Giants tomorrow. Root for the Giants and the Patriots. You want a perfect Thanksgiving, and not just with all the fixings and all the stuff on the table and a great family member conversation. What you really want to root for is for the Giants to win tomorrow to beat the Cowboys, and the Patriots to beat the Vikings. That would be the ultimate Thanksgiving gift for all Eagle fans, so be sure to go ahead and do that. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe and thumbs up. We got plenty more shows coming up here on the Thomas Mott Show at a time. See ya.